And now, this.
And now this.
And now this. All right, let's talk about something more positive, like remote work. I read this very interesting article from CNBC about Google CEO defending the desk sharing policy that they are introducing right now. And he talks about their offices are looking like ghost towns. And this is something that we can probably relate as people who are used to working in big offices. And now since COVID, we are often working from home. And so the offices look way different than before. Google CEO Sundar Pichai defended the cloud unit's new desk sharing policy for their employees. They are downsizing their office space, and their efforts in this direction is called Cloud Office Evolution, or CLOE. And Pichai says that the new policy is just for now for these cloud employees. And he added that the company is giving the teams the freedom to experiment in this direction. The cloud division makes up roughly a quarter of the company's overall workforce. Google expects to incur costs of about $500 million in the current period related to reduced global office space because their office spaces are very expensive. 1/3 of Google Cloud employees are coming into the offices at least 4 times a week. And during the meeting where this was discussed, Pichai addressed employees' concerns regarding the rollout of the desk sharing policy and how it was communicated to the workforce. And Inas Osman, Google's cloud strategy and operations vice president, said that sharing led actually to more productivity and collaboration in this pilot project. So they offer their employees 2 choices. They say you are free to work from home, and we have a pool of seats in the office where you can then choose like freely when you come to the office. Or if you're someone who regularly comes to the office, you can choose to have your fixed space where you sit. And overall, they are trying to reduce their office spaces with this pool of flexible workspaces. And this is an experiment. And I think it's quite an interesting approach to mix this fixed seat policy and this flexible seat policy, and trying to give everyone who whatever they want. Because usually I know this feature where they say everything is remote, we don't have an office anymore, because it saves a lot of money. Or the CEOs who say, please everyone come back to the office, we want to fill our seats because it's so sad seeing all these empty rows in the office. And basically I was a little bit confused about this article, because in the beginning of this article they said when you go into this Google office, it's very sad because nobody's there. It's like a ghost town. But at the same time, they say there are so many people who come to the office 4 days a week. And so everything is fine. But it probably depends on where you work. If you have like a department where everybody's working from home, then of course it's like a ghost town. And they probably are going to address this by compressing everyone, and everyone who comes into the office is then like in one fixed workspace. Yeah. But these kind of discussions are going to happen now more and more, where COVID is over and now technically everyone could go back to the office if they wanted to.
Wait, Tarek, but so the message is you can work from home, and then we have space, but not enough.
Right.
But
so you can
how
basically
is this different from reality?
Yeah, I mean, right now, where they had this fixed office space, everyone has their desk. And if now, like, let's say 80% of the people decides to work from home, 80% of the desks are empty. This is a bad situation. But instead of saying we have this global policy of reducing our complete workspace down to 30% or something, this would bring in the danger that if everyone wants to go to the office, it's not enough space. And so they have this flexible policy where they ask their people how they are planning to work. And some say, okay, 20% from home, others say 80% from home. and if they want to have like a fixed desk. So if you want a fixed desk, you can have a fixed desk. And this sounds like a great idea for like a snapshot in time, because then they can organize their offices in the perfect way to have flexible desks wherever they need them. What I think it's dangerous is that if they now reduce their workspace to exactly this perfect situation, workforce is also changing over time, right? So it might be that in 5 years from now, there will be a big trend where everybody enjoys coming back to the office. I mean, it sounds like improbable, but we don't know how like future employees like this, and then they are probably forced to grow again.
It's interesting to see that development. When I asked the question, I forgot how spoiled we are here at Axel Springer because we already are working like that since 2020.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
all of our office buildings are built for, I think, the capacity of 64%. So to us, actually, dear listeners, this is a very normal reality. Besides that, I think what would be interesting to see is what now shared space companies are doing with that. I think WeWork, I don't know how long this is ago. I think 1 year ago I read how successfully WeWork actually survived during the pandemic. A lot of people thought this is the time when WeWork is crashing, and a lot of other companies like that are crashing. Because nobody goes to the office anymore, right?
Right.
But now we see exactly that, and I think the offer of those companies is getting more and more attractive now, because when you book, say, with WeWork, your office space, and I mean this can be any company. We're not sponsored by WeWork in any way, but if you book your space, your permanent space with WeWork, right, and you are flexible with this, say on a very small time frame. Say a year or maybe 2 years. Exactly what you are saying now, Tarek, or what you're bringing up as an argument is, I agree with you, is not as critical anymore, because every 2 years you can change the amount of seats. Drastically up, drastically down, maybe in a margin, whatever. And I think therefore the offering of shared spaces, managed spaces, but B2B, it's always B2B, but I'm saying B2 big B. I think this is getting more and more attractive for companies these days, and even in the future.
Yeah, and I think it's always important to look at the details, because from the larger point of view, it's easily said, it sounds good and perfect for everyone, but the details are the crucial ones. And as you said, in our office building, we have something similar, and it sounds great. But especially, for example, this regulation of if you want to have a fixed desk, you can have it. This is something that we don't have, or at least not for like regular employees, if you don't have like a special function. But some employees, they still live this way. They have all their stuff on their desk, and nobody removes it, so de facto they claim this desk, even though it's not supposed to be claimed, right?
It's the survival of the fittest. This is
this is like a self-regulating system, and the same thing. We all are happy that we are paying less rent because we only have 64% of the desks provided. But then some teams decide, okay, now Wednesday is the office day, and everyone has to come to the office, which is a problem if we only have 64% of desks available and people come to the office but can't sit with their colleagues because there's not enough space. So these detailed questions are the ones that are then the hard ones to be answered, even though in theory everything sounds great. And I'm not sure if there is a perfect solution unless you, I have no answer for that.
But I mean, did it actually, we now live in this kind of scenario for a while, and I think the amount of people in the offices now that COVID is officially or unofficially over, this is probably the busiest our office building will be or will remain. And we never had the situation. I've never heard of a situation where a team decided, okay, we have our team day on Wednesday, we all come to the office, and they couldn't sit together because it always, worked out because others won't come to the office that day or not regularly, and so it always worked for everyone. So it is a potential risk, but I mean, from our experience here at least, it wasn't really a problem in practice up until now.
Yeah, you're totally right. It's probably for now a hypothetical problem that in theory it can crash, but in reality it won't. But only with these quotas that we are working with right now. So we said something like 64% is the current quota. This was, I think, even decided before COVID when we talked about flexible office space. Right now we have a new situation where, let's say, 70% of people actually decided to work from home. But this means if we are following the example of Google and creating like new guidelines, and we actually sell office space because we don't need it anymore, this could mean that we say the new quota is 30%. So we are reducing the number of desks to the new reality of having 30% of people at the office. And then we are again in a situation where this hypothetical problem can more quickly become a real problem because it's then again optimized for the current workforce. But doesn't make sense to talk in too much hypotheticals. For now, let's just observe how the big companies are dealing with this. But it is true, in the past, it was never this big question of if we can afford office space because we needed office space. But now we can actually talk about saving millions and billions of dollars for office space because nobody is like only few people are using it. And so it's really, really painful to pay all this money for empty rooms.
I mean, if we only look at this call, I mean, 60% of us are using.
Right about 65% of us is sitting at the office.
Even above quota, 66%.
Right.
Look at us.
Not bad.